Hey, leader, welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas Leadership series focusing on breaking up with self sabotage. Today, on the fifth day of Christmas, we're going to be talking about ending things with the overachiever in your life. And I don't mean your partner. The holidays are a wonderful time for reflection, connection, and sometimes letting go of what no longer serves us. As we celebrate the festive season, it's important to evaluate the aspects of ourselves that might be holding us back or causing unnecessary stress in our lives. So today, we're going to be talking about saying goodbye to the hyperachiever, the part of you that's constantly striving to achieve, that works tirelessly, and may leave you feeling exhausted, or dare I even say, empty inside. Now, why would we want to break up with the hyperachiever? Well, as leaders, we often strive for excellence, but when that pursuit becomes all consuming, it can lead to burnout, strained relationships, and loss of genuine connection with ourselves and others. Now, in my personal experience, I can tell you the lie of this saboteur is that when you achieve the next thing, whatever that is, that you will be happy or that you will be good enough, smart enough, talented enough, you will have made it. You get the idea. And the fact is that this is a fallacy. And I have to tell you, like, I was so bought into this, and there wasn't an end to it. I kept feeling that I needed to have something else external to me to validate my existence. In other words, my happiness or my enoughness was conditional on the next achievement. Now, I have been working with these concepts, which come from the work of positive intelligence, for over 2 years, maybe even three now. And I keep a photo of myself here on my desk. And when I look at this 2-year-old version of myself, she was more than enough. Just sitting there in her bed, wearing her cowboy pajamas and holding her stuffed donkey, smiling ear to ear. Now, if you have children or grandchildren, you know what I mean. And if you don't have children or grandchildren, just think about the you that was before the age of 5 to 7 when everything was conditioned into you. You are enough too. So, how do we go about this breakup? Here are a few steps to consider. The first one, acknowledge the hyperachiever. Take a moment to recognize and to appreciate the hyperachiever within you. Acknowledge the positive qualities it has brought into your life: dedication, drive, determination. However, also recognize the toll it might be taking on your well being. Listen, I guarantee you will always be able to know if it's sabotage or not by how it feels within your body. If your emotions are negative, it's one of these saboteurs messing with you. If your emotions are positive, it's not sabotage. It's coming from your inner wisdom instead, which is wonderful. The second step is to reflect on your values. Just reflect on your core values and what truly matters to you. Ask yourself if the hyperachiever aligns with these values or if it's pushing you toward goals that aren't in harmony with your authentic and true self, the person that you want to become in the world. And again, notice how you feel. The third step is to set boundaries. Now, establishing healthy boundaries between work and personal life, learning to recognize when the hyperachiever is taking the reins and gently guide it back when necessary, because balance is really key. So, for those of you who know me, you will know this about me. And this has always been my work to do. It might always be my work to do. And what I've learned about myself is that when you love what you do, it's really hard to stop. And what got me here won't get me to where I'm wanting to go. And I have other interests that I want to explore. Now, I read a book this year and took a course by Marissa Peer. She is a psychologist and she works with the celebrities. And one of the stories that she told was about how and why 70% of lottery winners end up broke within the first 2 years, which is our minds reject the familiar. And when we can work with our minds to make the unfamiliar familiar, it will change your life. So for me, I am working on at the end of my workday, leaving my office, leaving my clients, knowing that they're creative, resourceful, and whole, and I'm going to get on with the rest of my life. So make the unfamiliar familiar, and it will change your life. Step 4, practice self-compassion. Give yourself the gift of compassion. Understand that it's okay not to be perfect. What does that even mean anyway? So even better if would be to redefine what perfect means for you. And that taking breaks from achieving the next thing, delegating your tasks, or even asking for help are signs of strength, not weakness. Now, the fifth step is to embrace imperfection, celebrate imperfection, and embrace the beauty of the journey rather than fixating on the destination. Life is a series of experiences, or as I like to call them, temporary steps. And sometimes the most meaningful lessons come from the detours. So, as we face the fifth day of Christmas, consider giving yourself the present of a more balanced and authentic life by breaking up with the hyperachiever within you. Leadership starts with self awareness and the courage to evolve. So that wraps up another episode of the Who Are You to Lead Anyway podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit. And I will be back tomorrow to talk about hyper rational. And as always, stay curious, stay authentic, and lead from your heart. Make it a great day.